Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the EZA for the Super Saiyan 4 AGL LR Goku. So this is the apex of Supreme Saiyan Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and he recently got his EZA as a part of the EX part of the 7th anniversary celebration. So this guy got a pretty strong Extreme Z Awakening. In terms of his abilities, he now has 180% Goku's family lead with 130% AGL type lead. He also massively raises defense on his 12 key and raises attack for 1 turn, while also massively raising his attack and defense on his 18 key, causes mega colossal damage to the enemy and greatly lowers defense on his 18 key. In terms of passive, he has attack and defense of 140%, plus an additional attack of 20% at the start of each turn, up to a max of 60%. He gets an additional 2 key per rainbow or AGL key sphere obtained, and gains an additional key per type key sphere obtained. He gets a medium chance of evading the enemy's super attack and countering with tremendous power, and disables the attacked enemy's action once within the turn when facing 2 or more enemies, when activating the active skill, or when performing a super attack when key is 24. So overall he's got a pretty nice kit. I think the EZAs for both him and Vegeta were really quite strong and quite helpful. I think for the most part they really helped to cover a lot of their weaknesses and enabled them to just do a really good job all around the board. I think, for me personally speaking, I think Goku looks pretty good, but I think Vegeta got the better buffs to bring him more in line. But I think Goku is still incredibly strong overall and a very, very powerful unit that a lot of people are going to really enjoy using. In terms of links, he's got Super Saiyan, Saiyan Raw, Prepared for Battle, Kamehameha, GT, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. And he's on Shadow Dragon Saga, Pure Saiyans, Goku's Family, Kamehameha, Giant Ape Power, Turtle School, GT Heroes, Bond of Friendship, Accelerated Battle, Battle of Fate, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, and eventually Bond of Parent and Child. So all in all, pretty good, plus they have the active skill as well. So we're going to see how Goku does on a GT Heroes team, and then we're also going to take a look and see how Goku does on the Goku's Family team. Obviously, I don't have the physical GT LR SS4 units, so I can't run them under a 200% lead, but we're going to get pretty close. So obviously, I have Goku at max link level for every single link. So that means Super Saiyan is now 15% attack instead of 10. Saiyan Raw gives 10% additional defense. Prepared for Battle gives an additional 5% attack and defense. Kamehameha gives 5% more attack. GT gives 10% more attack and defense. Fierce Battle gives 5% more attack. And Legendary Power gives 5% more attack. So across the board, obviously we gain quite a lot from Goku's link set. It's one of those really powerful link sets. Between Saiyan Raw, Prepared for Battle, and GT, you're gaining 25% defense, which matters a lot for Goku and Vegeta, because remember, they're going to essentially double their defense when they fire the super attack. So they are very, very good from that perspective. They massively raise their attack and defense. It doesn't entirely work based on what the number you see is there, but for Goku and Vegeta, it's a pretty accurate way to do it, because they don't have a lot of other modifiers within the passive. It's the initial attack and defense that they have. So you'll see Goku's defense will rise up quite a bit after he fires the super attack. Now in terms of build, you don't want to really go for a additional build. I know a lot of people want to proc the additional 12 key attacks that you can double raise Goku's defense. It's not really necessary. Goku does have the medium chance to counter and evade, so I do think you need to measure it that way. Goku's at 184,000 defense. He also has an additional 30% support on this rotation, so he is getting a little bit of support, but nothing too crazy. We're going to see a pretty good attack stat from him as well, but he doesn't have any crazy links active. No Saiyan Raw, no anything like that, so we'll definitely have a pretty good idea of how well he does. His defense will crack the 340, 350 mark, but overall Goku is going to be looking really, really decent. I think he's going to have a pretty solid attack stat. Yep, 7 million. And this attack stat's just going to get higher over time. generally speaking, it's just going to get higher and higher and higher and get better and better and better over time. So yeah, Goku's looking really, really good right off the bat. 7 million attack stat is very impressive. Obviously, generally speaking, yeah, you do want to kind of focus in on, I guess, having, you know, like GT units. Generally speaking, Goku obviously wants to run alongside GT units. He wants the GT link, he needs Saiyan Raw. It's not like he has the most widely dispersed link set, but it's still pretty decent. I mean, Super Saiyan's very common, Kamehameha is very common, Prepared for Battle is very common, Fierce Battle is very common, Legendary Power obviously for legendary units. So you shouldn't struggle too much, especially considering how much ki Goku can actually just give himself from Rainbow and normal type orbs. So here we can see Goku looking pretty solid across the board. We have 170,000 defense, which is pretty decent. We'll be activating B-Pan's active skill. Now just take it with a pinch of salt. This active skill obviously adds as another layer of multiplication. So it's a very, very strong ability to utilize. But yes, overall we should see a pretty decent showing from Goku here. So we should get a pretty good idea of what his max attack stats are. 11.6 million. Second turn, so we still have another 20% to go, but across the board looking pretty damn good so far. So yeah, Goku can hit some pretty impressive attack stats right out the gate, but it does only get more and more impressive, which I think is something that Goku really brings to the table, is this high volume of damage. And because he brings such a high attack number, I just feel like bringing the additionals for, yes, the 12 key does greatly increase his defense, but I just think bringing the crit chance rather, and instead just having the ability to completely annihilate the enemy with, you know, 7, 8, 9 million attack stats, I think is very good, because you'll still have a chance for the additional. Obviously you won't have as high a chance, but I just think it's better overall for the unit. I just think there's a lot of times where if you don't take the crit, these big attack stats don't mean nearly as much as they should. Because Goku doesn't have super effective against all types, he doesn't really have anything else distinctly going. So I feel like it's for the best to take advantage of these large numbers. And then once you can, I feel like you'll have a much better time, just for me personally. But yeah, it's going to obviously depend, you know, on yourself and what you like feel, or how you feel you want to utilize Goku. But generally I think that's the best play to go. I think you get the most out of him, and I think for the most part you'll see the benefits of having him have that crit. That being said, obviously it does help him to have that 12 key massively raised, because on the off chance he does fire an additional super attack, you will obviously have a much greater defense. But generally speaking, one ultra super attack, obviously certain fights where he'll have maybe type disadvantage or something like that, against a red zone enemy, obviously Goku will then struggle a little bit. That's not something that can be denied. Like if you take him into the Bojack event, for example. But yeah, for the most part, I don't really see a huge issue, you know, in his defense. I don't think it's like necessary to have the 12 key. I mean, realistically speaking, you're giving up, you know, 40% crit chance for the off chance of a additional super. It's not like guaranteed. You're giving up 40% crit chance for a 20% chance to additional super for another 140 or so thousand defense, whereas if you just did a 10 million crit, you probably have a better chance of surviving anyway. So yeah, for me, it's definitely just the way to go. But again, it's just going to depend on you guys, what you've got, how you feel about it. But yeah, I'm going to go for crits. I think that's the best option here. But yeah, it is helpful for him to get his 12 key. So if you are a safety first kind of person, then you're welcome to get it. But it's not going to help you too much. It's not like if he gets his 12 key, he's all of a sudden going to be able to tank Broly. It doesn't double the doubling. So if you go from 150 to 300k defense, it doesn't then double your defense again to 600k. It just raises your defense to 450. And I think a lot of people are confused by that. So just to clarify, it does not raise you, up to this huge like attack stat or anything. So just be aware of that when you are doing it. Like, there's no secret little like I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get that double raise defense and have like a million defense. It's not really how it works, unfortunately. So yeah, but beyond that, like, you should be fine. Generally speaking, you'll be pretty good to go, I think, at least, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I don't think you need the 12 key, but if you do want it, you can take it, it's yours. To each their own. You can build it however you want to build it. I'm not here to tell you exactly how to use your units, but yeah, I definitely think that's the best way to go, is crits. So yeah, obviously we're seeing some pretty good attack stats from Goku. We're managing to get a better look at him, I think, just building up naturally. Obviously not the augmentation from an attack or a skill like B-Pan. Although obviously, you can use that. Like, B-Pan is a unit that's pretty decent in most content. So I don't feel like it's, a bit whack. She's on like a whole bunch of his teams. So if there's any unit that you can probably quite regularly get B-Pan's active skill with, it is probably Goku. If we're being honest, it is probably Goku that you're going to be able to get the active skill with the most. So yeah, pretty good stuff, I think. For me, I think Goku's EZA was fantastic. Here we can see him with 153 or so thousand defense. Is pretty good. Obviously he's got a bit of support on the rotation as well. We've got most of our good links lined up from the full power SS4 Goku, and we see a 9.01 attack stat, which is pretty good. And yeah, that's the thing. He's just really good. There's not too much to say about him. He's just a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10 EZA. Fantastic units. The countering and the evasion really help him out a lot in a lot of events, and also the very good defense after super. Obviously, him being a first tank slot is not really gonna happen, or a first slot tanking unit is not gonna happen. But if you stick him in the second slot on pretty much any team, or third slot on any team, he's going to do damage for you. He's going to be incredibly reliable defensively, and you're just not going to have a bad time. Basically, you just won't have that many issues. So yeah, honestly, overall, pretty good stuff. And if you are obviously interested in using Goku, go for it. In terms of his link set, obviously we're just going to quickly touch on his best linking partners, but as I mentioned before, Super Saiyan, Prepared for Battle, Kamehameha, Legendary Power, all fairly common links that you can get pretty easily with most units. So you don't need to worry too much about that. You don't need to panic, in a sense, about like catering to him. Also, again, he gains a lot of ki from his passive. He gets 4 ki every time he picks up an AGL or Rainbow Ki Sphere. So you don't need to feed him his ki passive, so you don't have to have GT. But his 3 strongest links, Saiyan Raw, GT, and Prepared for Battle, are definitely ones you're going to want to get. Fortunately, Goku has an absolute ton of linking partners that have those link sets, so you don't need to panic too much. Goku's got great linking partners all around. A lot of legendaries, a lot of units have Kamehameha, they have Super Saiyan, they have Legendary Power, they have Prepared for Battle. It's very common on Hybrid Saiyans and Pure Saiyans teams. So yeah, you shouldn't struggle to make Goku fit on any team. I do think if you want to prioritize Goku, if you want to obviously use him in your team as a main unit, then you do need to cater to getting his GT link, getting his Prepared for Battle, and getting his Saiyan Raw. Fortunately, he has a bunch of great units for that. You've obviously got the recently EZA'd Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, you've got the Strength Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and you've got the Physical LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, who turn into a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. All of them share all of Goku's main links. They all are perfect counterparts to Goku, except for maybe Full Power SS4. He's not necessarily a first tank slot, but Vegeta is a great unit to stick in the front slot there. You've got this AGL Vegeta, who's also a decent partner. So realistically, you shouldn't have like a massive amounts of issues. But I mean, yeah, it's just gonna depend realistically on how you handle everything or what your box is looking like. But generally speaking, Goku's great. And his link set, like I said, does have a lot going for it. Especially if you link level it, you gain a lot of defense, 25% defense to be exact. So you gain a lot from link leveling Goku. He's one of those units that when you link level him, you see a very noticeable improvement. But yeah, overall, I think Goku's really solid. And I think for the most part, you shouldn't have a massive issue trying to run him. I think, you'll be okay. No matter what you do with this unit, I think you'll be okay. Like I said, you can pretty much run whatever you want to run. As long as you get GT, as long as you get or prepared for battle, and as long as you grab Saiyan Raw and things like that, then I don't foresee there being like a massive issue, at least for me. But yeah, again, it's just going to depend on yourself and just going to depend on what you have in your box. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like or leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Until then, take care, stay safe, and bye.